Hello everybody and welcome to episode 42 of the Spawn Point podcast. It is Wednesday, the 8th of July, 2015. And as always, I'm joined with my two guests, or co-hosts, Matt and Ebbie. Hello guys, welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
So today we're going to be chatting about several things. First of all, we're going to be talking about the Splatfest that happened at the weekend. Then we're going to go and talk about console modding and is it the future? And finally, we're going to be talking about Minecraft story mode and whatever the hell that's all about. And see if everyone's actually pleased with
I'm
that.
so excited.
Hooray! But into our first topic, Splatfest. At the weekend, it was a Splatfest. First of all, which team did you guys pick? Obviously, Ebbie picked Rock. I picked Team Rock.
Right, so I did it based on which colour. But also, I had Steve here, so... No,
That wasn't the way.
no, because I like both, so I was like, okay. But then Steve was here as well. I was like, oh, which one shall I pick? And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, which team do I pick? And then he was like, Pop. So I was Team Pop.
You do realise that, like, spoiler, Pop lost because it was Mari's team, and she's dead inside, and, you know...
You can't say that.
She looks dead inside. Can you not? Do you not see that?
I do see it, but you can't say that.
Stay fresh.
She's famous.
Stay fresh.
She's like 12. She can't retaliate. But what did you guys think of the Splatfest? Like in general?
I thought the matchmaking was real bad. And apparently that's the fixed version because it was real bad in the first Japanese one.
Yeah, so they had to delay the American and also the UK Splatfest because apparently they couldn't sort out their matchmaking in Japan. And like, I don't know about you, but I played a fair amount of games, and I found like a lot of the games there didn't seem to be anyone from Team Pop there, and Team Pop was populated by all of the Team Rock.
Yeah.
So it was probably that it was lopsided because there was too many people on one team. Then I did also find when you're on Team Pop that you're waiting a lot of the time to find just other people to join your team. Like you'd start and you'd have like 2 or 3 people. Like there was quite a few where I had 3 people on my team and Rock had 4 people, and it was an immediate disadvantage. And it's like, it was kind of.
Our friend Pat actually had an instance where it was 4 members of Team Rock and just him on Team Pop.
Yeah,
he did not win.
That'd be really good if he did. That would that'd be,
I think his tweet showed 1.1% of the actual map coverage for him. So well done, Pat. So there's obviously a bit of a matchmaking issue there. The one thing that we were saying was the fact that when they decided that it was Splatfest time, you couldn't choose any other modes, which I just assumed that I thought it was going to be the normal sort of, I can't think of what it's called now. Help me out, guys.
Regular battle, turf war.
A turf war, that's it. Okay. I thought it was going to be the turf war mixed in with like the Splat Zone and the new tower mode they added. I thought they were just going to chuck everything in there for the Splatfest, and it would just be a random thing like that. And also just with the 3 map rotation as well. I thought it was just going to be like everything bundled together. And that kind of really disappointed me, and especially the fact that you couldn't join in with your friends.
That was my biggest problem, was that I think all of my friends were on Team Rock apart from you, Matt, but you weren't really around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did play on the Saturday, but not the Sunday, really. But it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because we couldn't have played... I mean, I get that you can't play together if you're on opposite teams, because that kind of goes with the whole ranked battle issue of like helping your friends rank up or cheating and stuff. But if you're in Team Pop, you should be able to play with people who are also in Team Pop with your friends, and then like your friends who are in Team Rock can go, yeah, let's play together, and and it kind of seemed like the entire weekend was like, for me, the Splatfest was, I was like, a part of me was like, I can't wait for it to be over so that I can actually play with people again. And so that I can, because it's like, oh, it's the weekend, I'll play some games with my friends, or, I'm going to, do this, and you're very limited because you have to do this thing. And you could only do Turf War for the entire, Splatfest thing, just Turf War, on those specific maps on the rotation at the time. And it was just that again and again and again. I do like, though, how, all of the stages were set at night. I think that looked quite nice.
I thought that looked way better than it usually does, personally.
Yeah, and also the fact that they changed the music up as well for it.
Yeah, that was cool.
It'd be interesting to actually see if, the pop and rock had different stage music. I doubt they did, and I can't even remember what it was, so there's no point.
It was sung by the Squid Sisters.
Yeah, I doubt they would have done, but that would have been quite
You could probably
cool.
find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
If you didn't hear it.
And what saying as well, it would be really nice if they actually did some sort of system in the game, just to have it when it's nighttime outside there, or where you are. It would be nighttime in the game, and when it's daytime, it would show the day maps.
Yeah.
That'd be really nice.
Actually, this is one thing. The when you've got the end of the game and you've got the map overview of all of the ink covered. At night time, the ink looks a lot more realistic because it sort of glistens in the light. I don't know if you noticed that. I was like, oh, have they improved something? I was like, oh no, they've just changed the lighting and the it just makes it look it just looks a lot nicer. Just having that, it's just But going back to the whole thing about friends, I was kind of baffled, just a lot of these things, they had, I was like, because I hadn't played Splatoon for a while, I was like, tower control mode was coming out. I was like, that's cool. I can't wait to play that with some people that I know. Now I have to play with strangers again, because it's only on ranked battle, and you can't do ranked battle with your friends, even if it's on the same team. Obviously, next month that's supposedly changing, hopefully. Maybe for ranked it is.
Yeah, I really hope that we haven't got the wrong end of the stick here, and they are actually adding in the friend support for ranked as well, and the ability. I know they're adding in the ability for you to actually pick set teams, but I'm hoping that they're going to let you go, hey, if you want to have a 4-player team in ranked mode, then do that with all your friends, because that would be super cool. Because as fun as it is playing the non-ranked stuff with everyone, it would be nice to actually play some of the other modes with people as well, just to mix it up a bit, because I feel like it does get a bit repetitive after a while.
Well, it's it's like the Splatfest. It's a community event that you can't play with anybody and that's kind of a whole sense of a community, is that it's all all recognised, and you know the other people, and you're like, oh yeah, we can play together. It's this community group thing, and we're all gonna have some fun. And I don't know, that's what sort of felt a bit disjointed for me.
So that leads us into how, for Nintendo, when they do have a next Splatfest, how would you improve it? I think we've already covered the fact that we want to play with our friends. Nintendo, hint, hint, please, thank you. Anything else that you?
I genuinely think that's the one thing holding Splatoon back from being really incredible as a game, is the fact that I can't play with my friends in general, unless I'm playing Turf War.
Yeah, I don't think I think it is really just the friends thing, but one thing I kind of just to sort of branch, from that question, just to sort of branch off, how have you, in terms of what Nintendo have been the whole releasing the on-disc content gradually since it's come out, how have you found that so far? And do you still think at this point in time now, we're now in July, so it's been out for a month and a half kind of. How do you feel compared to back then, compared to now? Do you feel any differently? Do you still feel like it was better for the grand scheme of things? We all know why they did it, but do you personally feel like this is for the greater good?
I feel like it's definitely kept my interest there a little bit. Instead of going, I could play Splatoon, or I could play Smash Brothers or something else, I've gone, oh no, there's this new thing, so I guess I'll check it out. Especially when there's a new map, I'm like, let's go try and play the new map, and then I'll get Port Mackerel all day. But I feel like it's helped me have that interest in the game until this supposed big August update that's coming soon. So
I think it's the same with me. Like, I haven't really cared too much about the weapons because I've found the weapon that I quite like and the loadout that I like, and I've just gone, well, I don't really need to try anything else out. I really should, I guess, but it works for me, and I can get a fairly decent score with it. And the maps are quite a nice rotation.
On that topic, actually, the whole thing of the map rotation is because their intention was to get people to use different weapons. But the thing is though, is with every, like, you know, for the sake, like, the argument, let's just call it a shooter, regardless of what people might debate about it. Every shooter, people find a particular, like, loadout or weapon or something they like, and once they, like, this is my favourite weapon, they stick to that just for a long time, if not most of the time that they're playing it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't even think the thing is that the matchmaking, like with your friends on ranked or any, like the matchmaking in general is the issue, but the main issue for me is that the only mode you can play with your friends is Turf War. And after playing like a week of just loads of Splatoon, playing Turf War, after you've got like, you know, over 40 or 50 hours in the game and it's like Turf War, I've started to get a bit sick of Turf War and just got a bit tired of it. Like, I can't think of any other, like, shooter or team-based sort of shooter game like that where I've played the same mode again and again and again and again since it came out, even like a month and a half down the line. Because I'll do different ones, because you'll have like 20 modes. I'll go like, like Battlefield. I might go, I'll do a bit of, free for all, a bit of team deathmatch, or whatever, or, you know, and I switch it up. I don't think I could stick to one. The way Splatoon, I think, gets away with it is just because of how addictive the gameplay itself is, that you sometimes don't notice that.
I've nipped into ranked and done a couple. I actually haven't managed to try out the new tower mode. I can't remember what it's called, but I played some of the Splat Zone stuff, and I was like, I actually quite enjoy this because it's a bit different to normal. Okay, I can't play with some friends, but there isn't anyone about to play with at the moment, so I may as well try it and have a bit of a fun time with that. And I really enjoyed that, and I just hope that we can play that with friends soon. Cause,
I also hope that this new Rainmaker mode, whenever that comes out, is
I bet you that goes on to ranked.
Probably, yeah.
Do you know, like, there's this recurring theme just with like with Nintendo of just making things really difficult online or just not having online. Like, that's one thing, and I know, like, that I don't really like talking about the NX because we don't really know anything about it and it's still a ways to go. But the one thing I hope that system has, like, in terms of the games lineup, is ones where they go, okay, look, this doesn't just have local co-op, this has online co-op, or this has online thing, because so many games on the Wii U are like, oh, you can play this on your couch with your friends. Like, I play with people online, but I don't, when I have my friends over, we don't necessarily play on that, and I don't usually have friends over and play very often, so it doesn't really appeal to me. I just wish there was more kind of online focus from Nintendo, really.
I would like to, just going on with the playing with friends thing, I would like to say that the local sort of not co-op mode, but versus mode is actually really well like set out, and I actually quite like the fact that one person plays on the tablet, the handheld part, and the other person plays on the screen, and he can't actually screen watch there, and that is actually really nice, especially as you get the whole thing to yourself.
That just reminded me, because Steve tried out Splatoon here, and he had the gamepad, and he was so overprotective about screen sharing. He's like up against the TV's here, and he's up against like. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I don't want you to cheat. I'm like, you're taking it a bit seriously, aren't you? He's like, no. And he's like proper, like pointing it, you know, away from me. Yeah, it's good.
I think we've done Splatoon to death. I think we've splattered that all over the walls.
I'm looking forward to the next Splatfest, because I feel like they've got things that they can improve on.
Yeah.
From this one.
Actually, before we move on to the next thing, unless anyone else has anything to say about the Splatfest, the one thing that really bummed me out about it was the fact that they were like, hey, here, for the Splatfest, you can have this really cool rock t-shirt, but we're going to have it back. And it would have been really nice just to have that as an in-game memento, just to say, I was in at Splatfest.
It was kind of annoying, though, that you couldn't actually, during the Splatfest, change out of that. Because if you wanted to do better for your team, you've got this T-shirt that has all the abilities locked away, and you can't, like, it's okay to have that as a thing, but you can't, like, having that is really cool and it's a neat thing to have, like, and being able to keep that would be cool because you're like, oh, I attended the Splatfest, like you said, but you can't get rid of it. I tried to change out of that and it says, no, you can't during the Splatfest. It's like, well...
That's why before, because I assumed that would be the case before Splatfest started, so I was like, okay, I'm going to try and unlock as many abilities on this T-shirt as I possibly can before Splatfest. So I did that.
Okay.
And it worked out because Team Rock won.
Yeah, Team Rock!
Although I totally don't understand their scoring system, because it was like, okay, so you get this many points because you've got this percentage of people joined this one, and then you won this many matches, so we're going to times that by 2. And I'm like, why are you timing that by 2? Don't understand. But we won, so sorry, Team Pop.
They modified that score a bit, and that brings us nicely on to console mods. Support for them. Do you think that is the future? Now, there's obviously in E3 they talked about Fallout 4 and the Xbox One having mod support for the game there. Then the Just Cause 3. That is now the title, The Just Cause 3. Just Cause 3.
Todd Howard comes on stage, we're calling it The Fallout 4.
So they're talking about, or thinking about, bringing mods to consoles as well, and I guess the question is, do you think we're going to see more modding support for consoles in the future?
Sure, hope so.
I
just find that like installing mods sometimes can be a bit of an arse ache. So if I can do it through a controller, so I don't have to, and the console will do the work for me, that'd be great. Totally buy like a console because of that.
I looked up about like why a lot of the reason why mod support for Fallout 4 is coming to Xbox One first is because Microsoft have been working with Bethesda to sort of make it possible, because it's not straightforward as go, oh, take this file and put it like that, you know. So I feel like obviously still that stuff's still coming to PlayStation, you know, at some point, but I kind of feel it's like necessary for consoles to stay relevant, really. I had this thought, like, I know it's dangerous, I had a thought, that PCs are, like, because of the Steam machines and all that, PCs are becoming more like consoles and consoles becoming more like PCs. So we're getting this sort of merge between the two, where we're becoming this middle ground, because consoles are getting mods. They're, you know, there's more focus on like people always like, oh, what's the frame rate? What's the resolution? You know, people want more power. They want mods, but they want the convenience of a console. Then you've got PC, where people are like, I like all this stuff. I want all this stuff, but I also want, like, maybe, well, I guess that's Steam machines is kind of, I don't really understand, but people want to play from the comfort of their couch, and they want a controller to play with, and they want a simple machine they can just buy that can play their games. It's more powerful than the console.
And obviously Steam's had big picture mode around for a long time, which allows people to play in their living room and use a controller to play it on. The one thing that, like, going into Ebbie's sort of comment about the fact that she doesn't like modding on PCs because it can be a bit of a ball ache or an arse ache, or as she described it, is the fact that it can be a bit difficult to do it. And like that's the thing, like, will it be just that simple on consoles? Can they, like, make mods as complex as some of the stuff for PC? I don't think they will be able to.
I think it depends. It's going to have to be like, obviously you're not going to be able to make mods on the console, but it's more of like a case of, oh, you'll take this and like port it over, basically.
But now that then brings me, like, onto something else I was thinking, because essentially a mod, like, if they're bringing it over to the console, then will they? It's not going to be as dry cut as just going on potentially like to a website and just going, I'm going to download this mod, or will they start selling them?
Well,
That's
I guess
the
it has to
question.
work a lot like how I feel like Steam Workshop is a big part in making mods more welcoming and user friendly and more mainstream.
Mm.
Because it's like you click a button, you subscribe, you've got that. Like especially for games like Skyrim and like City Skylines, I think now has 50,000 mods roughly. Like games like that where people just a lot of the replayability comes from that, and it's all because people are doing it through Steam. I think we're going to need to have a system like that where it's like, you know, you click what you want, but they're going to have some sort of like, they can't just have it seamlessly work. It's going to be interesting, but
I feel like there's got to be a selection process for whatever mods get added in, because there are a lot of mods that I feel like wouldn't run on consoles because they're meant to like push the game further.
Like over like graphic enhancement.
Yeah, graphic
mods,
overhauls or whatever. That stuff probably won't be coming.
And also the other thing about like licensing and copyright issues, because if Microsoft, this was the one hurdle, which I think they interviewed Todd Howard about and asked him, was that, okay, for example, this is on Microsoft's Xbox One, someone has a mod for like Super Mario. Like you can play Super Mario in Fallout 4 or something. Like, does that become an issue now that you're getting Nintendo characters on a Microsoft system and there's all these legal type of, you know, all this sort of, you know, grey area?
Yeah, I think it depends on how they implement it as well. Like, if there has to
be something like that. There has to be
some way of like green lighting it. If there's something like that, then it will become a massive issue. But if you can, if they decide to implement it, like, okay, to mod the game, you need to like a USB stick, plug it into your PC, download it onto that, and then plug that into your console, and then it installs it somehow from there. They could potentially get around all of those issues. But if it is like Ebbie was saying, and you have like the Xbox mods area that you have to download, then that will potentially start causing issues with all of the copyright stuff, because they're gonna have to curate them, I feel.
They will, yeah, absolutely.
Just on the topic of you saying, will you have to pay for them? Like, did you say that about like?
Yeah.
I don't think after the mishap with Skyrim on Steam that they would ever walk down that road again anytime soon.
That
Todd Howard specifically said mods will be coming to Fallout 4 on Xbox for free. Like, he was really specific about that they wouldn't charge.
I think a lot of that is to do
Just
with
Cause 3, totally different game,
that's true.
totally
That's
different
true.
company.
Although
Also, nothing said about free mods for PS4, if I remember rightly. They're going to come there.
I think they have mentioned that they'll be free. Like,
maybe.
The thing which is quite good about Just Cause is I bought Just Cause 2 for like £3-4, and there's a lot of mods for that game, and there's just like an entirely separate multiplayer mod, because that game didn't have multiplayer, and it's an entirely separate thing. It's really fun actually, but like there's, you know, they actively support and acknowledge that a lot of their success of that game's down to modding, so maybe they'll try and be respectful of that and not try and piss anybody off. Maybe I'm just being optimistic, but
well, they did say that they were thinking about it rather than it's definitely happening. It's something they'd like to do, but they don't know if they could or whatever.
I mean, stuff like Just Cause, it's going to be fairly similar to some like GTA in the modding front. I feel like if we look at some of the mods that GTA has, like you were saying earlier, that it's going to potentially like have a hit on frame rate and stuff, or the game's actual operation. Because there's some mods like there's you can fire cars out of your weapons and stuff like that. And if you're adding all of those extra things on the console, and it's already struggling at 30 citation needed for GTA, not 100% on that. But if you're adding loads more things on, then it's just going to start tanking the frame rate, and then it's going to have to be curated in that respect. They're going to have to look at all of the mods and be like, okay, is this going to be a detrimental hit for the game or not?
That's probably why we don't have console commands on on Xbox and
'Cause
stuff,
it would
because
just-
people would spawn like 1,000 rolls of cheese or whatever. Just, like,
So,
crash the game.
how much do you think like the influence Fallout 4, like Todd Howard come out saying, we'll get mod support for Xbox One, further down the road PS4, because this was like this is the first time we sort of hear about what mods on a console, and like this was E3. Do you think all the other developers were just like, oh wait, that's a really good idea, like, oh, if they're doing that, we should do that? Do you think that's where they kind of, do you think that a lot of them are going to look at Todd Howard and look at Bethesda and look at Fallout 4 and be like, if they're doing that, and we all know how popular Fallout 4 was, like, they just have to say the word Fallout 4 and they get another 10 million pre-orders. So maybe we should hop on that bandwagon. Maybe we should do that. Maybe that'll make our game more popular. Do you think that's where a lot of it is going to come from?
I think all eyes are going to be on Fallout 4 and the actual mods that come out for that. And if it's a complete and utter whitewash and it just doesn't work at all, then that will probably put other developers off, for at least for a while, for putting mod support on their games. However, if it's a complete success and they work fine, then I think a lot more people will start jumping on the bandwagon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but I can't see this not being successful. Like, it's a really good thing for Microsoft, in my opinion. I think it's one of the best things that they could have announced at their conference. Because I thought about this. And I was like, if I was going to get one console, it might just be the Xbox One because of that. Like, barely, because there's a lot of games I want to play on the PS4. But if I was going to have a console experience for Fallout 4, I would go for the Xbox One.
Yeah. I just, like, the fact that they have Phil Spencer, like, leading the charge now, I just feel so much more confident in what they're sort of doing in general, because he is like a legitimate, he's been working at Microsoft since 1988. Like, before he worked on any Xbox stuff, he was doing, like, the Age of Empires stuff, like Microsoft Game Studios and all that stuff. So he's been there, sort of, like, early roots, really. And he's just, like, a gamer like everyone else. Like, he knows, like, weird glitches in Destiny. He knows, like, certain obscure things that, the men in suits at EA or something probably would have no clue
Is that
about.
why he always comes out with the game t-shirt on with the dinner jacket? Like, I'm one of you guys! Love me!
with it. So,
I actually do like Phil Spencer.
Yeah.
Especially compared to Don Matry. There was something about Don
It's just
Matry
the fact that he
just,
came
freaked
out,
me a little bit.
yeah, he was just like, I don't know, like, even Phil Spencer, like, wasn't really a fan. I like how he just came in, he's like, this is a game console, we're going to be focusing on games, and he had to take a lot of heat for it. I'm sure that the shareholders and everyone were like, what are you talking about? This is a great idea. And he was like, no, we need to focus on games.
So,
yeah, sort of.
going on that then, is there any mods for console games that you two would personally like to see?
Battlefront.
Battlefront.
I want to be able to play as Jabba the Hutt.
That would be a horrible thing.
Oh, what the go? It's like,
Do you need Solo?
Imagine this. You know the EA trailer where they look to the right and Darth Vader's there, and he's like choking the guy with the Force. Imagine you just look over to the right and Jabba the Hutt's there.
With the short arm and lightsaber.
Run, he's gonna eat us all. And then you could have a mod where Luke doesn't have his hand, and then you'll be happy. And
Where he does have his hand.
Where he doesn't have it. Like,
no, because he.
Does he?
I'm not going to get into this conversation.
Okay.
Nerd.
I think that. Yeah, I think Battlefront would just be quite a good one.
I'd kind of like to see some Skyrim mods. I know Skyrim isn't a new game, but I like Bethesda games. Okay.
I love those Skyrim games. Like, I can't wait just wait for Skyrim 2.
Skyrim 2.
So Skyrim 2, you could get mod support
for the next 20 years.
I can't wait for Oblivion 5, to be honest.
I would also be really interested to see if one day we could have consoles that can run Minecraft mods. Because some of those mods are very, very complicated.
Actually, what was there was something about Minecraft. about...
Story mode?
No, not that. That's a really good segue. But no, it was about Windows 10. There's going to be a specific Windows 10 version
Yeah.
Of Minecraft, yeah.
and like I know this wasn't originally like planned to talk about this, but it sort of popped in my head because it's you can play. I think it's cross-platform play, so you can play with people. Or the idea is that when it's up, it's going to. This is the thing. I don't know whether it's going to have to be scaled back in terms of what version it is, because if you're going to be able to play with people on the Xbox, like cross-platform play, because that's the one thing that Microsoft are trying to do a lot now. Like Fable Legends is like, oh, you can play. I'm pretty sure it is. You'll be able to play with people on Xbox from PC and vice versa, and like linking, which is something that I've always thought. Like when I was a kid, I was like, wouldn't it be awesome if you could just play with the people on PlayStation and people on PC, and we could all just play together.
The thing is with it though, and we are getting massively onto another subject. Like, if there's all this support for Minecraft, like already there, and they're like, hey, you know what? We're gonna make Minecraft beta for Windows 10. You can play with everyone on consoles, and it's pretty much like vanilla Minecraft. You can't mod it. Because consoles, the Minecraft on the consoles won't be able to. And will people bother picking it up?
One thing about the cross-platform... Sorry, yeah. Sorry.
It's free for people who already own Minecraft, so it's like $10.
On the topic of cross-platform play, I did actually read on an article. I don't know if there was a source like associated with it, or they were just assuming, but I think the plan was that eventually the mobile version of Minecraft the mobile version is so outdated compared to like what's on PC now. They're like, oh, and eventually the people on mobile will be able to play with the people on PC and Xbox. Do you know what? For PvP stuff and just any sort of that's a terrible idea, because I tried to play like Minecraft on mobile. Like, you think playing Fallout Shelter is bad on an iPhone? You try playing Minecraft and build something decent.
But
my nephew primarily plays Minecraft on an iPad, and I think that's really weird.
How?
I don't know. He's just like so good at it as well. I'm like, are you joking?
But imagine an iPhone. I'm sure he'd even struggle then, like on an iPhone, because it's just so small.
Anyway,
what I'm concerned about with the Minecraft getting a new version is that they're going to roll it back into like actual beta stuff, and it's going to be missing like all the updates that they've had. I think we're waiting on 1.9 now, so it's had 9 updates, 8 updates.
It says on the Mojang thing, you'll recognise some Pocket Edition features in Minecraft Windows 10 Edition beta.
I should bloody hope so. More. It's a little bit like having Splatoon, right? And Nintendo going, we've unlocked all the content. Well, because we've got, like, for the NX, we've got that coming up. We're going to have a special version where we go straight back to the beginning where we only had 4 maps. And,
Yeah, so yeah, you will be able to play it, with local multiplayer or with Xbox Live friends online.
Right, the Xbox version is also quite delayed compared to the PC version as well. So.
Yeah, it doesn't say. Does it say anything about Xbox One? No, it doesn't on their website.
I still find it really weird that Microsoft own a studio that has a game that's also on PlayStation.
I would just like to point out, as one of their highlights for this, it's so here's some of the highlights. One of them's chicken, zombies, pigs, boat, armed skeletons, potatoes, zombies again, baby squids, enchantment tables, villagers, naked sheep. I've never seen a naked sheep in it. Maybe after you've sheared them.
After you've sheared them, yeah.
Iron golems, potions, gas, pickaxes, carrots, and all of the weird and wonderful goodness you come to expect from Minecraft. That's not a highlight. Fucking chickens. And
the chickens are adorable.
And zombies.
There's other things as well that come with limitations of being able to play on like cross-platform play. Is that I saw some comments about this where are you only going to be able to play 8-player online because that's what on console you can't do a 150-player server, but on PC you can at the moment. Also, are you going to be able to do mods with it? Because if it's cross-platform play, you're not going to be able to play on servers that have mods because if they need to work with Xbox or whatever.
I suppose it depends on if they decide to implement the mods feature on Minecraft.
They won't.
As well.
They won't. There's no way that they can. There's no way. Like, consoles cannot do some of the things that mods do. Like, some of them are so resource
and there's
intensive.
so many mods for Minecraft. It's ridiculous that they'd have to sort of how do you like supervise, police that? How do you make sure?
And then there's like texture packs and I don't know. It's just it's a mess.
The thing with texture packs though is you can quite happily play with someone that doesn't have the same texture pack as you, and it's fine. But the one thing that this will be lacking is a story, and that brings us over to Minecraft Story Mode by Telltale.
Great segue.
Thanks. What did you guys?
I've been trying to get that in for the last 10 minutes.
What did you guys think of the trailer?
Can I speak as a Minecraft fan, like a really big one who's been to Minecon twice?
No, you have to speak as a non-Minecraft fan who hasn't been to Minecraft. Go on.
I thought it looked really stupid. Like, I thought it looked legitimately like one of the worst ideas in gaming in a while. Not keen on the idea, but it did have that like little
Prime
pig.
Says hi.
It did have that pig that kept following them around, and I thought the pig was kind of cool, so I might buy it for the pig.
What? What's wrong with the industry?
I like how we started off with this is the stupidest idea in gaming I think I've ever seen. But it's got a little pig in it. I might buy it.
Yep. The Minecraft animals are like the best thing. My thing in Minecraft is making farms and stuff. I love the animals in Minecraft. It's got a little pig with a saddle on it.
Now,
kind of want to see what it's about.
What I thought was particularly interesting about this, this.
I am joking. I would like to point out to Andy.
But like, what I thought was interesting about this is, it's like, okay, so you've got the people that play the regular. With every Telltale game, you have two different types of audience. You have you have multiple audience. You have the people who are let's take Tales from the Borderlands, for example, because this is quite a good example. Andy hates Borderlands, and he makes sure I never forget it. But he likes Tales from the Borderlands, I think, still, if I'm correct.
I still need to play the other parts, but yeah, I enjoyed part 1.
Can I just point out, when you play episode 2, the beginning part, Ebbie would absolutely hate it because it has an eye thing and it's really graphic. Like, I'm just going to say, when you have like things going into eyes, you see this from the perspective of the person's eye.
Wow.
Okay.
No.
But I'm not going to say any more because you'd probably pass out or something. It's really bad.
I literally feel really sick.
Even I was like...
Even
okay.
I?
Oh my god.
I see what you did there, Andy.
I need to leave. I need to leave.
No,
you
it's
guys
okay.
are the worst.
But just sort of moving swiftly on. So there's different audience. So there's people who like Telltale games, but they might not have been a fan of the game that it's based upon, like that title. Then you've got the people who like that game, so like Borderlands, for example. But you've got the people who don't really play Telltale games or never played them before. Then you've got another category who like Telltale games and like that game. And the question here is, who does this appeal to? Like, are people who play Minecraft gonna like this game because it's gonna be not what they're used to? Because all the people that like Telltale games are talking crap about this game and saying, I don't want to play it. Why don't they spend more focus and resources on Wolf Among Us, Walking Dead, Tales from the Borderlands, Game of Thrones? This is their 5th game that they're currently actively working on at the moment. I think. So how does that affect the quality?
Are they actively working on The Walking Dead Season 3 then?
They're working on a Michonne miniseries at the moment.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
You learn something every day. And then they're going to release, I think Season 3 comes out in an original interview. It's meant to come out like end of 2015, but I don't think that's going to happen. Probably 2016. But I think they're probably or planning to work on it, or they're working on that miniseries. But it's just like they've got so many games they're working on. How does it affect the quality of each game? You know, it's like quality over quantity type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, going like, there's just like if you're a Minecraft player, are you going to like this game because it's all dialogue and it's a Telltale game? You're not used to it. If you're a Telltale fan, you're not going to like it because it's Minecraft, or you might like it, but there are obviously people that like it. Like, it used to be 50-50, the trailer, on like likes and dislikes. It's not as much like that now. It's about 60-40 or something like that.
I appreciate the fact that they're trying to do something so different, because, you know, Minecraft for me has gone a little bit stale. But I still really like Minecraft in a way. I just don't think that this is what I wanted.
See, the thing with Minecraft is that there is obviously like all of the adventure maps that they have, which is like people adding their own story into it, and like in the later versions they have put in like adventure mode where you can't craft stuff, or you can craft stuff but you can't like destroy some of the blocks and everything, unless it specifically lets you do stuff. If I'm right, I haven't played it for a while. And I feel like it's probably aimed towards people that enjoy that mode, or that way of playing Minecraft.
But even then, there wasn't a narrative that was told in this way before. Like, it was always told through like books and signs and things like that.
And I feel like they're just trying to build on that. But the thing is, like, you can just download fairly decent like mods for it, and then you can play it. You don't need like a whole expensive game. Yeah, it's free. And like, there's also like I don't think it's going to be the same as one of those either, because it's a Telltale game. Okay, you get choices in it, but like, there won't be any.
Do you really get choices?
Get choices. You get choices that all will go back to the central plot point.
Beyond Two Souls says hi. Life is Strange says hi, Telltale.
You made me lose my trail of thought.
Sorry.
But like, you won't. I don't think you'll get crafting and stuff. It did show like him making a sword in the trailer.
I thought that looked kind of cool, I will admit. I was like, oh, it's a sword. Like, he put the stick and the 2 pieces of cobblestone. But then, immediately, it went to a scene where he was killing a zombie in one hit. I'm like, you need to hit him 4 times with the stone sword.
But can you imagine how awkward that would look? Oh, dramatic. Ooh.
And where's Steve? Like, I thought Steve was supposed to be, like, the main character. I don't know.
No, you got, the main character's called Jesse.
I like the fact that the one coloured character in the thing is voiced by the same guy who voiced Lee in The Walking Dead.
Dave Fennoy.
I don't think we call them coloured anymore, Ebbie.
Do we not?
1980s says hi.
I didn't know.
What was I gonna...
Sorry if I offended anyone. It really didn't.
Oh, yeah. So, the thing is, though, if you look at this game, the trailer for it, it looks like every other Telltale game, just with a Minecraft skin. Like, in terms of the way the story's told, in terms of like the pacing, and just everything's really like. I liked the video game and TV one where they're like, it seems like the guy who made this trailer wanted to make something else, like he wanted to make a Batman trailer or something. Because it's like it's really hard, like for me at least, to take this story seriously when it's in Minecraft. Like, it's like, oh, you got this thing, oh, they're all dying, oh, but you're like, it's Minecraft, and it's like, it doesn't, because you haven't had a story before, it's hard to connect, and it's hard to, I don't know, like, just really kind of, sort of, it just all seems like it's being, and it seemed like really messy, the trailer as well, like, it was like, you know, suddenly this is happening, oh no, now we're over here, oh, now everyone's dying, they're running away, oh,
now we're in the nether!
Yeah, the pig's with us again, no, yeah.
Pig! Team Pig.
Win.
So I don't know. I want to see more of it in a weird, like, morbid curiosity kind of way. Like, when the LPs come out of that game from all the big Minecraft channels, I'll watch them.
So do you guys care for the fact that there's a story in
I don't think any of us ever went, and I'm copying this quote from Video Gamer again, but I don't really like Minecraft. It really needs a story. That's what's really lacking. Like, it's none of us have gone like, oh, I really wish this game had a story, and I think that's the problem. Not problem, but that's where the sort of lukewarm reception comes from. It's like, with The Walking Dead, it's already story driven. It's like, oh, wouldn't it be awesome to play your own version of it? Or Borderlands has, a story. Wolf Among Us, is all about these fables, and there's stories to tell there. It's like it's just like you've pulled this story out of the hat. Like, there's this legendary Order of the Stone thing, and you got to find it to stop the world being destroyed.
Yeah, this is the problem. There's like no lore in Minecraft for them to work off of. They might manage to make something super interesting, and I'd be totally up for it if they did. But
I mean, I was super skeptical about the Tales from the Borderlands series. I have to say, when they were doing that, I was like, I don't think there's enough there to really do it. But
there is.
I mean, I got proved. Yeah, I mean, it probably was something to do with the fact that I don't really like the series. They're just like, is there anything you can actually do with it?
There's a lot of lore behind, like.
But I was happily proved wrong with that. And I'm just wondering if it's going to be the same with Minecraft. I don't think somehow I will be.
I also just got I also really thought like Lego Movie for some reason when I was like in my trailer, like Lego Movie popped into my head for some reason. I don't know why, but it just seemed like, I don't know. It just seemed like it didn't seem like, oh, I've never seen this before. It just seemed like a lot of the same tropes and usual tomfoolery that Telltale do to be like, oh, it's gonna be really dramatic. You can do this, and we, I don't know, like I don't know. Maybe I'm just like burnt out of Telltale games. Maybe
I was just about to say, like, I think the real question is, are people just getting burned out with the same sort of Telltale stuff? Because
maybe if they're developing 5 games all at once, maybe.
maybe, because like
slow down, it's okay.
They've had like the same sort of structure with them since The Walking Dead, and like once they like got onto that new structure of that, like they've really just gone, okay, this is now our type of game, and pretty much just churned out the same type of things over and over.
But before that, you had games like Jurassic Park that Telltale did,
which was apparently garbage.
Yeah, really bad reviews. You had Back to the Future, which I never played, but people didn't go like insane for it like they did The Walking Dead. Like they were doing stuff before, but I think they're still riding the wave of The Walking Dead and that success of that. But I think people are starting to realise that the Telltale just stick to the same formula of like, we'll make them think that, like, the thing that really bugs me about Telltale games is you'll save somebody, but if they're destined to die, they'll die later on anyway. You just postpone
I feel
their
like
death.
There is a point where the character could die, and they are dead at that point, no matter what you do. If you save them, they'll die later
exactly.
on.
If you get a choice where it's like, can I talk? Is that going to spoil? Is it too...
Just right. Let's just. I know where you're going. There is a certain character in Life is Strange.
No, I'm not talking about that.
No, you're not talking about that.
No,
okay, I don't know what you're talking about.
It was going to be The Walking Dead season 2, but I didn't know whether it was okay to.
Hold your hand up while
I'll
you're saying
do Kim
the
Ross.
spoiler.
Okay, so.
He's holding his hand up
while
while when the hand is down, you may unmute the video.
Okay, so if you haven't watched if you haven't completed season 2 of The Walking Dead, then just skip this bit or mute this bit until my hand goes down. So, when you have the choice to save... Oh, he hasn't...
Last part.
Okay, where is he? Actually, hang on, no, put it down. So, put your thing on.
Is it in the last part?
Okay, what episode Ebbie, have you played it?
I've seen all of it, so...
Okay. Shit, I don't know which episode it is.
I'll just.
Right, just take them off. Tell me what it is.
Okay, so you get this choice early on in the game to save Sarah or let her die. Now, if you save her, she dies later on in the game anyway, and it's like, well, that was all pointless, wasn't it? And there's other things like Arvo, who's the one who like Jane steals his gun. And it's like, oh, but if you choose not to steal anything, he still punishes you anyway, and it's like the same thing. So
I thought that was such bullshit when I was watching playthroughs.
Exactly.
I was like, why is Arvo a bit...
So
why
it
did he
feels
do
like
that?
your choices don't matter. But I will put my hand down now, and now you can resume.
Cool.
So basically, your choices don't matter.
That was the
good points there.
that was the that's the end point there. Was basically choices don't matter all that much is what we're saying.
Which is why I would be interested to see what happens. This isn't a spoiler, so don't worry. From the end of The Walking Dead Season 2, because that had so many split narratives that tying them all together seems like it might be quite difficult. So I'm interested to see what they do with Season 3.
Manly tears in that game at the end.
I want to know what ending you got. You have to tell me.
I know. Manly tears.
I assumed that you were going to talk about Life is Strange, where there's a certain scene where there's someone that one of the characters dies. I'm not going to say any more about how it happens, where it is. But you can actually save them from dying. And that was quite interesting how I didn't
and it
realise
goes in completely different directions, like, and it's stuff like that. And like, yeah, that's a really good example of a game. And like, I just completed Beyond Two Souls yesterday. Finally.
Don't spoil that.
I'm not going to spoil that.
I've only just started playing that.
I'm not going to spoil that, but that, like, it seems to have, like, the thing I love about that game is when you're doing, like, the combat, and if you mess up, and they can just beat the crap out of you. Like, if someone throws, like, a crane towards you, or, like, one of those, not a crane, but, like, those, those, like, hook lift, like, metal hooks that they use for,
like meat? Like
yeah, kind of those meat hook type, but they have them in construction. But they have them in like construction for like lifting heavy items. If someone throws that towards you, and you don't dodge it, you could get hit with it. So you could like end a fight completely differently if you did it flawlessly compared to another thing. And there's some bits where you could mess up and it will just let you carry on. And some this isn't a spoiler, but like just to say ahead of time, Andy. If you screw up, that will affect the ending sort of scene of all the stuff that happens in things, like where people end up and who's still around and stuff like that.
Even
so
in the early
basically, your
games,
choices do matter.
They do matter.
So say a certain person may have gone to a certain party and shit got real and something happened.
No, that doesn't really.
that doesn't really affect anything.
No.
Okay, cool.
But the cool thing about that is some things. It's like it doesn't ever say. Like Telltale. It's like, okay, you can stop now. Like it tells you when to stop doing something. And Beyond Two Souls, it's like you can carry on causing like havoc and you could strangle this person with your powers if you want to. You could like scare
strangle them.
Fuck. Oh man. You can scare the crap out of kids if you want to, like at a party or something. If you want to, and it won't tell you when to stop. You can carry on or stop at any point. But it doesn't ever have that barrier where Telltale's like, okay, let's get you back on the rails. So yeah, I think.
I hope they don't mess up season 3. So I'm very concerned for a certain character. That's all. The
best thing they can do is have it branch off all the different endings and then loop back round into.
They probably will, or
unless they just do an XCOM thing where they just assume one ending.
Yeah, I was going to say they just take one ending as canon, and then just go. We're going to roll with this now.
Best be my ending.
I hope not, because oh my god, one of the endings like pissed me off really bad. Matt, we're talking about this afterwards.
Fine, okay. Right, well, do you think this collaboration makes sense? I think that's the last question before we round it off. No?
I think it's safe to say no. Like, I think this is really just... I'm going to agree with a lot of the comments in the trailer. No, it is really silly idea because it doesn't fit.
I don't think it does either, and that's quite a nice end there because there isn't any loose ends. Everyone has agreed. There's nothing that we need to call canon because
Matt will remember that.
Or anything else because that is the canon ending.
You say that, but hang on 1 second.
Oh. Do you think it's a good idea now, Matt?
Sorry. Yeah.
So yeah, going to end that with our usual thing of saying you should follow us on Twitter.
Plugs.
Because you should follow me on Twitter, which is at Ryu101, RYUW101. Who wants to go next?
Follow me on Twitter, Vector Matt J, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more episodes and more video goodness. Ebbie.
You can follow me on Twitter at BizarreJelly5, and you can also find me on YouTube at youtube.com/BizarreJelly5.
Cool. So that is it for episode 42 of The Spawn Point. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.